I'm gonna do daddy long, like cross my legs. It's called like daddy long legs. You know when you cross your legs? Okay, anyway.
That's not what it's called.
Okay.
It's like crisscross applesauce.
No, don't ever call it that in front of my face.
Daddy long legs? In kindergarten, they said, do daddy long legs. No. They said, do crisscross applesauce. What the
Ain't nobody told me to do crisscross applesauce.
Okay, guys, we're going to sit in daddy long legs position.
Huh?
What? Babe, it's crisscross applesauce. Welcome back. It's episode 1 of the Leave by 9 podcast.
Okay, I'm Anna, Korean American. I'm currently working at an edtech startup. Let's get into my signs. I'm an Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Mercury, Pisces and Venus.
Basically, all the planets are Aquarius.
Mm-hmm. And Scorpio rising.
So all air.
And
a couple water. Yeah,
I'm half
like
water, half air, basically.
Okay. I'm like half water.
Well, you haven't introed yourself yet.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Avery, and I am a stay-at-home 9 to 6er in the startup world. Actually, it's not even just the startup world. It's like all corporate jobs is like 9 to 6 now as a standard.
It's true.
But anyways, I work for a fashion brand startup, and as my side gig, I also run a fashion brand. My big three are sun, moon, and rising. I'm gonna try to get it without reading the notes. Pisces sun. I was gonna say Mercury moon. Scorpio moon, and don't tell me. Oh, Capricorn rising. I'm gonna do 4th, Taurus Venus. Oh my god, that was so hard. I feel like I was being tested. But and then I'm Filipino American.
So I guess from my perspective, like how we ended up with the idea of creating a podcast was
because everyone's doing it.
Oh my god,
I'm just kidding. That's not
truly. No, actually, the first thing was me saying like, people should hear about other people's experiences with like no bullshit attached. Like there's so much things out there that's like, hey, like it's gonna get better. Like it's just like a lot
steps.
of like
it's very like, structured.
Yeah, it's very like, oh, you know, how to find your purpose or like how to do this. But like no one really talks about just point blank, like this is shit I'm going through and
you're still
like,
going through.
Yeah, and I'm still going through and I still haven't fucking figured it out. Like that kind of thing. And then at the same time, Avery was also she was struggling with balancing stuff. You know, the theme here was that I was just feeling like super lonely. You know, I kept telling you, I was like, I feel like I'm alone, which in hindsight, like I knew even at the time that I wasn't alone, but the feeling of yourself not really knowing what you want to do with your life, and you just like felt like you just had no purpose while everyone around you looked like, at least in my eyes, looked like they had something to strive towards. Yeah. That made me feel super lonely, and I think this idea really came from the fact that we would share those experiences and in hopes that it would kind of make others feel like they're not really alone when they go through that stuff. Because I feel like everyone goes through it, but it's hard because everyone goes through it at different periods in their life, right?
And like different intensities.
Right, and at different intensities. And like, I just felt like I needed to get my shit together. Yeah. Like, I just got that overwhelming feeling of like, what the fuck are you doing? Get your shit together.
So here we are.
Yeah, I and honestly, and I'm gonna be really straight, like I still don't know what my purpose is. Like I still don't know what I'm striving towards. Like I still haven't really found what motivates me and gets me up every morning.
I feel like sometimes we think we know our purpose. Like even for me, because even with MP Co, which is the clothing brand that I run as like a side gig, I'm always gonna pursue that. But there are some days where it's like, even though you're pursuing things, I feel like you'll still have those questions of like, is this what I should be doing? So
could I be doing more?
Yeah, could I be doing more? Is this contributing, you know, not like to society, but like, is it like making me fulfilled or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. But also I feel like, because you were saying like to the outside, it seems like people have, you know, their shit together and know what they want. But like, I feel like there's actually more people that don't even know. Or there's more people that go what you
Absolutely. people don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
And
it's also hard to talk about. It's like, hey, I feel like useless.
Exactly.
Like who am I supposed to tell that I'm like feeling, you know?
Yeah, unless it's like your closest friends or something. But even then yeah. It's really difficult. Yeah,
because even like it was hard for you to tell me.
Yeah, it was, because in my eyes, from the outside perspective, especially you having MP Co. and you working at a fashion brand, it almost kind of like tied into what currently motivated you or is motivating you now. But and then like, you know, to use my best friend as an example, like he's motivated to become a teacher, and so like he's working towards that goal. But for me, it's like I didn't really realize I couldn't see what I was working towards, because let's be real, what I do now is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I really hope not. Broadly speaking, I'm sure everyone's wondering how we know each other.
Everyone, all 2
million viewers
listening right now.
You know, we met at work, or
we were coworkers.
Former workplace.
Yeah.
And then we started talking to each other more.
I forgot how. I think it was something really stupid. I talked to everyone at work except for her. Like,
why is that?
Well, because you have a Scorpio rising.
First of all, let me just point out that I thought Avery was like,
what?
Just like strictly dickly. Like I thought you were strictly into
we're
boys.
Going into this.
No.
We're going into this now. Okay,
well,
good.
No, that was just like. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so we started talking more. I don't really know. I don't really know how we got close. That's what I don't remember. Like,
okay, I remember.
Oh, I do remember. Like 20, yeah, maybe a couple months after
talking
that.
Through Slack.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, if you don't have Slack, I don't know where you work.
If you don't know what Slack is,
great.
I'm happy for you. I'm jealous of you.
I envy you. I really do. Like that message. Oh, it's so triggering. Carry on. Okay,
yeah, and then we started texting more, and then
as friends.
Yeah, as friends.
I just put it, okay, as coworkers, there you go.
Yeah, and then let me just preface, like, I was taken, she was taken, like, we were both dating someone at the time, so, like, obviously, we were just like, hey, we're just talking as coworkers at first, and then once we, like, exchanged numbers, we were like, okay, maybe, like, she's a friend, and whatnot, but anyway.
What is whatnot?
I don't know.
She's a friend or what?
I don't really know when.
She's a friend and other. I think when we started talking like every day and like it was like always funny and I was always like looking forward to your text.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw you more as a friend because we were like actually, and when we started like talking about like meaningful things, you know, like relationships and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm the type of person that won't.
Anti-small talk. Anti-small talk. That's
honestly like I despise small talk with a fucking passion. Yeah.
Like, so, I will try to talk about the weather. I will try to talk about, like, something small.
No, but I can't do it. I physically will gag if I have to.
It was, like, 2 p.m. on a work day, and she slacked me, what are your biggest fears or something?
Yeah.
Like, actually, I think I have a screenshot of it. And I was like, what?
There's no point in me trying to get to know you on a surface level because it's, like, you know, it's, like, the typical, like, how's work?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing this weekend? Like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck but what
I want to know what keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
I want to know your fucking childhood traumas.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just, like, my way. I don't know. I just, like, think that it's
my way to break the ice, you know, like, traumas.
It's not even breaking the ice. It's, like, I just want to get to the main things about you. Like, what makes you you.
Eventually, somewhere down the line, I became single. You became single.
At the wrong time. Again.
You became... Oh, yeah. We were, like, single and taken at different times.
At different moments. So if I was single, she was taken. If she was single, I was taken.
She was taken. And it just never, like, lined up. Like, the time, like, never lined up.
Up until this year.
Yeah. In January.
Yeah. Long story short, she confessed.
I did. I confessed because it was driving me crazy. And I was, like, at the point where... For me, like, I have to look shit up when I'm, like... scared or like there's an unknown or like
anything.
Anything and everything I'll look up, but you know I'm in the hole or it's like really really bad when I'm like it's like 3 a.m. and I'm on like Reddit forums. Like I was legit on Reddit and Quora like figuring out like
how to get over your coworker.
Like how to get I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm looking this shit up right now. Or like coworker taken or whatever.
Right.
It was just like, yeah, I would just like look up so many things, like in love with best friend or whatever, you know, like shit like that.
Yeah, you were telling me that you were just like getting really fed up with.
I was done with the shit of not knowing.
Right.
If there's one lesson I learned from that whole not telling each other thing, is that to just like go for it. Like you never know type of thing. Yeah. Like the worst that could happen is, well, the worst that can happen is like you lose a friend, which is pretty bad. But it's like a risk type of thing, you know? Like, are you willing to risk?
We were best friends before we got together. So yeah, initially my first question to her was like, are you willing to risk the friendship?
Oh yeah.
And I guess that we both were.
Yeah, I think by telling you how I felt, I was already risking it. That's what I had already accepted. It was like, okay, if I tell her how I feel, that's already, if she doesn't feel the same way, then we have to cut it. Lesson is to go for it. Shoot your shot.
Truly.
Well, I used to be very critical of my time, but like after I met you, I was like surprisingly like didn't think about time too much, which is weird for me because I'm like, okay, what am I doing? From 6 to 7, from 7 to 8:30, whatever. It was like so structured. I used to time block. I used to be so anal.
I could barely schedule meetings with you at our like previous job. Like I remember she would be like, hey, like why don't you just like schedule time on my calendar? Block. Okay, there was literally no space.
People said that, but those were like my own blocks.
I know they were your personal blocks, but like how do you not feel like, okay, you're literally dipping into someone's personal time? But anyway, that's besides the point.
No. I actually stopped doing that. Like I'm trying to make a point, like my learnings this year so far have been like not to be so anal about my time.
For sure.
Yeah. And like especially with like trying to balance
MPCO.
Yeah, like trying to balance work and, doing this podcast now and MPCO. Like I've always found it difficult to like figure out what to prioritize, but I guess I'm still learning it like you.
Yeah.
Like you're still learning what your purpose is. I'm still learning like how to balance all of it.
It's hard when you have your 9 to 6, you have MPCO, but you also have a relationship. Because like, especially in the beginning when you're like, I want to spend my time with this person and give my time to this person, but yet your projects on the side are all slipping through the cracks and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that's where boundaries comes in. I feel like by me and you setting boundaries up front, like remember we were trying to do like Tuesdays, Thursdays, like we'll be like our own time.
Yeah,
so kind of do these. We don't do that anymore.
That didn't work.
It worked for like 2 weeks.
It did not work. It honestly did not work.
Wait, what? I thought it worked.
No, it didn't. No? It absolutely didn't work.
I didn't get that feedback.
No, like it didn't work, meaning if it, like, to me, it's like if it worked, we'd still be doing that.
Okay, I feel like there's a lot of exceptions. It's like, oh, I'm leaving out of town. We kept
trying to make exceptions.
Yeah.
And I think I think at that point, I was just like, if we want to see each other, we'll see each other. Yeah. And if one of us really can't make the time for the person, then like just communicate that. At the end of the day, like the reality is that we have work tomorrow.
and I gotta see if I have any meetings.
I do.
Actually,
I definitely do.
I do, yeah. I feel like this is triggering some people. They're like, fuck, I like went to listen to a podcast to escape. Now they're talking about meetings and shit. Ooh. But I mean, if you made it this far, like, thank you, because that's
seriously.
I don't even know how long this is gonna be, but yeah, that's a big deal and it means a lot to us.
If you genuinely liked it, like, at least let us know.
But if you like this, then follow us on podcast.
On Lead by Night.
On podcast.com. No, Spotify or Apple Music or Anchor or whatever you're listening to.
Instagram, Lead by Night Podcast.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And listening. Bye.
Bye.
That's so obnoxious. Daddy Longhorns?